Well, good evening, folks. I'm Greg Flynn, and welcome to This Week in Pearl for March the 4th. Now, on this edition of tonight's show, we're going to talk to Mayor Jake Windham on some city business and an update on a lot of projects going on throughout our city. We're going to go under the dome at the Capitol and talk about the proposed elimination of the state income tax. We'll talk to Representative Newman and Senator Dean Kirby to see where they stand on that over at the legislature. Then we're going to head over to the high school to award a pair of Pirate football players the Pearl Municipal Broadcasting Awards, long overdue for last season, so you'll want to check that out. And we will spotlight our Police Officer of the Month, that is Officer Tyler Lentz. All that and more here on This Week in Pearl. But as we begin, we're going to bring in our mayor, Jake Windham. And Mayor, I guess the big breaking news for you is you do not have an opponent as we talk about the election. We're getting you for 4 more years, and now you can actually talk about, everything that you have planned.
Yeah, I did not know if I was going to have an opponent or not. I tried to prepare for that. In case people don't know, when you run a citywide race, it's pretty exhausting on a family as well. So it doesn't involve Jake Windham. It's the people that support you and your family. We were very relieved. We understand that comes with the job. We've strived to do a good job over the last 4 years and have a lot of big things coming up in the next 4 years. So I'm very thankful, and I appreciate all the support within the community, and look forward to everything moving forward and knocking down some more things. I really think, as far as the job's concerned, in politics or being an elected official, effective leadership is what people pay attention to most. I'm an elected official. I don't consider myself a politician. I consider myself a person that tries to take things to get things done for our citizens. That's why they pay taxes. And to me, that's instrumental. And there's a lot of times, sometimes elected officials will say, well, we're going to get this done. Well, I don't like doing that. My word is my bond. And I've been able to show that over the last couple of years. God's been good to us and really blessed us. And we're fortunate. My wife took a big sigh of relief. She said, my life will be over for the next 6 months. And so we would be playing soccer and campaigning. But I'm very thankful, and I'm thankful to the citizens of our city for all the great support.
Excellent. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about some election information coming up at the end. But one of the projects that you've seen started, and it's going to come to fruition, you were out at the groundbreaking of the East Metro Parkway extension that will directly connect Lakeland Drive behind Dogwood all the way to Cross Gates. Flowood, Pearl, and Brandon all going to benefit.
Yes, that's been a major project. I pick at Gary Rhodes. I said this project was originally funded when I was in 3rd grade and he was involved. But actually those funds came from what was called an iced tea program back in 1994, and that's how long the East Metro's actually been a conceptual idea. Of course, everybody knows the one that comes from Flowood, and there's a dead end. That's where it's going to pick up. If you actually traveling south from Flowood into Pearl, there's a dead end there. It's going to come from there, cross El Dorado Road, over Hollow Lane, and then it's going to tie into Cross Gates Boulevard. Cross Gates Boulevard is going to be reworked as well. That road's in bad shape all the way up to Highway 80, and there's going to be a new signal there. For Pearl, something that I'm very excited about, is going to provide additional traffic relief off that 4-way intersection. However, that snare that comes out at Metroplex currently now, that's provided some relief already, but there's going to be more relief provided because 40% of the traffic is traveling east to Brandon at that location. So the corridor is going to be a big help in that area. Secondly, it's going to free up some land for additional housings to be developed. And that's going to be a good thing. I think that we understand, and I tried to put it out there prior to, I guess, dating in the 1st of January. I sent a mailer out and put in the newspaper that we have approximately 800 new homes being built in Pearl over the next 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. And that was part of our strategic plan with University of Southern Mississippi Economic Development Department. So we've really tried to hone in on that. I've really tried to work with these home developers and try to find pockets of land within the city that can be developed. Now it helps that low interest rates are out there, so the developers are in gear. But for additional housing, that to be put in place, that's just falling in line to what we've laid out comprehensively for the city. And it's going to be good. It's going to provide additional options for our citizens.
You know, one of the biggest things I admire, and I think that is a testament to people wanting to give you 4 more years and not run against you, draw an opponent. But you know, many times a lot of the cities around us, you know how you get the new cell phone plans, and you can get if you're a new customer, you're going to get a really good plan, and the existing customer's like, well, what do I get? Well, nothing. You pay us your bill. The approach that you take is you not only want to encourage new customers, new residents to this city, new businesses, but you have a commitment to those that are already here to improve their services, to improve their streets, that you haven't forgotten about the people that already live here.
Yeah, when we talk about improving things, it's comprehensive. It's for districts 1 through 6. Like, I know that we need a lot more street paving, and I'm addressing that now, working with our financial consultant, looking at some additional things to even pave more roads. I presented to the Board of Aldermen 2 years ago to take out a road bond for $2.1 million, and I believe the interest rate on that $2 million was 1.78%. Second road bond, we've already paid that off, by the way. Second road bond was for $2.4 million, and we got it at 1.53%. It'll be paid off next year. But we have more roads that need to be paved in some of our older subdivisions, which is not going to do anything but revitalize.
Sure.
It's for our long-term people that have been here for many years. It's going to help them. They're going to say, hey, I got a new road. And then it just helps our community. There's a lot more curb appeal when you have a new road, and that you don't ride down the road like you're in a log wagon. So I still recognize that. And also some of the older infrastructure on our 5-year water comprehensive plan, going in and repairing troubled areas, sewer plan where we go in and we're going to start CCTV and smoke testing this spring, where we're going to identify the major water infiltration into our sewers, which at the end of the day, it's going to provide a lot better service for our people, and we're not going to have the issues that we currently have in some areas. So, with that said, we want new things to happen, but we're going to take care of our people because they've been faithful. They've been here for a long time, and they're like myself. They've known Pearl when Pearl was very small, and now Pearl is in my mind, we are a big, small city. We still have the camaraderie of a small town because it seems like everybody knows each other, but it's important to me to do the same thing in District 1 that you do in District 5, that you do in District 3. Every district has different things that are unique to themselves, and you just got to be able to identify those things and work on it for our people. So make bad things good and good things better.
One of the low-hanging fruit, and it's just a little thing, but it means a lot, and it's the new street signs that you went into designing, and it's just going to kind of help our city. And again, it's not to take away from the big projects, but this is just an easy fix.
Yeah, so everything is, we know as well as I do, we're pirate themed, and these signs are going to reflect that. So on 80, Airport, Old Whitfield Road, also on some of our state aid roads, we're putting new signage. It's actually, it's going to be black poles with a new sign. The sign design came from our architect, and a combination of a couple of different people that have a good eye for that. Some members of our chamber, and then some other people that's on that works for Dr. Morgino, and Dr. Morgino himself. We all kind of collectively came together and worked through some of these signs, and it's fun because that it's an effort to aesthetically make the city look nicer, and especially on your main corridors. And I think the people will enjoy it. It's a really good look, and we're looking forward to implementing that. All we need is some better weather, and then everybody will see these new signs go up, and I think it'll make a big impact. And I just thought to myself, some of those small things, the details really matter when you're trying to improve, and that's just a proponent of that.
Well, talk about needing better weather. We talked about it at the board meeting this week. The city park, they need some good weather over there to get that city park open.
Yeah. I promise that thing's going to be constructed. It seems like when I came into office, we've had record high precipitation within the city. And though they came in there, Clear River is actually doing the park. Bernard and Sons is doing the baseball fields, softball fields. And it's just hard to work and move dirt when it's wet. I think that people are going to see a whole lot of progress once we get in construction season, what I consider construction season more into March, into April, all the way to October. And in case people didn't know, some people do know, folks that work construction do, and engineers know, that September and October are your drier months. But we're going to see a whole lot of progress during that time, and you know, progress takes time, especially when it's a bigger project. That's a major undertaking there, but it's going to be a huge improvement. And I think once it's done, you know, people in Pearl are going to be able to hold their head up high and stick their chest out. No longer will our citizens have to go to other cities to take their kids to the park. They'll be able to stay right here in Pearl, Mississippi.
Well, you'll have other people in other cities saying, man, let's go over to the Pearl Park, is what they're going to be doing. So
yeah, that's right.
Well, you are going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief as we talk about some of the election information. You're going to have your feet up, kicked back on April the 6th, but for everybody else out there that is going to want to go and vote for some of these races that are out there where there are some contested things, got a couple of deadlines to tell you about, some very important ones. The deadline to register to vote is this coming Monday, March the 8th. You have until 5 o'clock to go by the city clerk's office at City Hall to register to vote. If you're not going to be able to get out to the polls on April the 6th, absentee voting is open now, and you can go by the clerk's office Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, to cast your ballot if you're not going to be able to vote on April the 6th, or if you're not going to be able to get to the polls on April the 6th. There's also some Saturdays that you can go that the clerk's office will be open to vote absentee. That's going to be March 6th, March 27th, and then Saturday, April 3rd, right before we have the primary from 8 to noon. So a lot of opportunities for folks, Mayor, and I know it's important that you encourage everybody to get out there to vote in the races where some of the wards have contested races, and then certainly we have an alderman at large for the entire city that will be contested in the primary.
Yeah, the most important thing that I really think about, it comes to mind when I talk about voting, people bled and died in order to give us that inalienable right. We need to make sure that we take advantage of those things. Not everybody gets this choice in this world. We live in a republic, and it's really something that people need to hold near and dear to our heart. And I would appreciate, you know, ordinarily you have 25% of registered voters vote in an election. And, you know, it's a civic duty. And I just encourage people to go out and tell people that aren't registered or have been people that usually vote in the past, just make sure that you go out, because that's your representation at City Hall, and that's your voice. That's how you get things done. Of course, the process goes is, you know, you tell your alderman, then the alderman submits work orders or brings things to my attention, which our department heads and myself are over daily operations. So it's very important, and I just want to encourage people to get out and do it. And remember, there's been a lot of sacrifice put forth in order for people to allow us to vote every 4 years.
Wow. We want to congratulate you again on a stress-free election season.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to reiterate that I am very, very, very thankful to the citizens of our city for all the support, and I certainly appreciate it. And I can tell you that going into these next 4 years, I'll have the same persistence and drive that I had the last 4 to get things done. You just think that we had some improvements done this last 4. We're going to continue to do so the next 4.
Well, you are very deserving, and we are blessed that we will have you for 4 more years.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, when we come back, we will go under the dome at the Capitol with Representative Gene Newman and Senator Dean Kirby. Stay tuned. This Week in Pearl continues right after this.
Hello, I'm Mayor Windham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
All right, welcome back into This Week in Pearl. We're now going to go under the dome at the state capitol and bring in our two distinguished gentlemen from Rankin County, the Senator Pro Tem, Mr. Dean Kirby, and our Representative Gene Newman. Gentlemen, I know it has been a lot of fun as we get closer to, your Super Bowl, which is the end of the session. So things are kind of cooking, I think, especially on state income tax. Gene?
Yeah, so House passed House Bill 1439, which it's been a work in progress for about 5 years, but it kind of just jumped out at the last minute this year, right before deadline. The bill basically eliminates the income tax over a 10-year period. It replaces that with sales tax, an increase of 2.5%. If you're a working person, the first year they do away with the first $50,000 income tax is done away with. So if you make $50,000, I said that wrong. The first $50,000, if you make $50,000, then your income tax will be nothing. So if you're a family of two, two earners, your income is $100,000, then you're getting a $4,000 back. The sales tax is increased across the board. It also includes a 2.5% increase in farm equipment, commercial equipment, all of that. Mobile home sales is included in that. What is not included is tags. I keep hearing from people that says, well, you're going to raise our tax. No, tags is not included. Property taxes are not included. It is strictly sales tax. We're using sales tax to replace the lost revenue from the income tax. That's a $1.9 billion replace that has to be done. You can't just cut that out of the budget. If you try to cut that out of the budget, then you're going to hurt the schools, you're going to hurt highway patrol, you're going to hurt law enforcement across the board, you're going to hurt the guard. Everything would get hurt if you just try to do away with income tax.
So now this is a House bill, and it's come out of the House. So the question, before I want to talk about the Senate though, but the question that I have is it fair enough to the general public for the consumption tax that you'll be taxed on whatever you use, the sales tax, for example, will go up rather than just everybody paying tax straight across the board up to that earning limit? Is that about right?
I think it's fair because if you look at a person making $50,000 a year, let's say a school teacher that's making $50,000 a year, and they don't have to pay that $2,000 income tax. For them to spend enough to do away with that savings on that income tax, they'd have to spend $80,000. So that's what it would take for them to do away with that $2,000.
So they would still come out ahead.
They should come out ahead regardless. The ones that it's questionable, and you also got to realize we're cutting a grocery tax in there. It's cutting 3.5%, and it would eventually go to 4%. So the ones that has the most to potentially hurt would be retirees. You do the math one way, and you say, well, the retirees aren't going to get hurt because they're going to save enough on grocery tax that it won't affect them. You do the math another way, and you say, well, the retirees are going to get hurt because they spend more over here. But I think if you look at it across the board and you look at what they spend and where they spend money at, on car insurance, on cars, and all, the things like that. In other words, their car payments and all those things. when you get right down to it, it should be a wash even for them. Now, math is math, and statistics is statistics, but the fuzzy math really gets into tax stuff. So I'm not guaranteeing it's that way, but for most, I can tell you what it will be. For working people, for the average Joe out here working a job, saving that income tax is a big deal.
All right, so it leaves the House, and then congratulations, that ball is now in your court across the building. What are you hearing from your senators on that side, and the lieutenant governor, most notably?
Well, Lieutenant Governor is studying the bill. We take every bill that comes from the House very seriously. Obviously, they've done a lot of research and done a lot of studying on it. We just got the bill this past week, as you know, and we haven't had a real chance to sit down and summarize and study. We've had some actuaries, we've had Department of Revenue over and others, and Senator Harkins, of course, it'll go to his bill, his committee, and he'll more than likely, if the bill comes out, it'll be amended. A bill of that magnitude, I just can't see us just taking.
Right. But at least what are some of the concerns that you're hearing from, I know one was the retirees that Gina just talked about, that they're concerned.
People, retirees number one, because they pay no income tax now, no state income tax now. Equipment dealers, farmers, automobile dealers, home builders, all of those people are really, really contacting us against the bill. So they're saying it'll drive the price up and those type of things. So we just need to study and make sure that it doesn't. If so, then we just need to do some type of modification or amendment to the bill. But the bill's not, I'm not saying the bill's dead.
Right.
I'm just saying that the bill is going to be studied.
And it'll need work. I mean, every bill needs work.
Of course it does. We've never passed any perfect legislation.
I don't think that's ever existed, except for one, the Bible, when it came out, the Ten Commandments.
Well, that didn't come through.
No, it didn't come. Thank goodness it didn't come through the legislature. It would still be in committee.
We would have messed that up. We would have messed that up.
That would have been triple referred, and then we'd still be dealing with all that. But one of the things, people always like to point to the other states like Tennessee and Florida that have no state income tax. The biggest difference that they have is tourism really drives their revenue, which makes up for a lot of those shortfalls, correct?
Well, if that's in Florida, not so much in Tennessee. When people think about Tennessee and tourism, they think about Gatlinburg and that area up there. Well, most of Tennessee is not like that. Right. Most Tennessee is like, more of Tennessee is like Mississippi than it is like that. I think Florida's the only one that tourism drives what the taxes are. You look at Texas, and they have no income tax. One of the big things that's carried their budget for a long time, like Louisiana, and even Mississippi to some degree, is the oil severance tax. So I don't know what's going to happen with that now that we've changed the way we're going with oil. But so that makes up a lot of their budget shortfalls. But their sales tax, all of them, is in the 9.5% range. Tennessee is at 9.5%. So we're not going above them in sales tax. You can't. We have to replace that income, and the sales tax is just the logical place to do it.
And I do think sales tax is the most fair of all taxes. The more you make, the more you spend, the more you pay. So it's probably I don't like any tax, but as far as being a fair tax, the sales tax probably is the most fair of all.
Well, for everybody that says that they don't like taxes, and it is fair, we just don't like being overtaxed, because there is some public services that have to be provided, and the only way that you guys can dole that out is through taxes, right?
And those states that don't have the sales tax maybe that we have, and we're not high, believe me, compared to other states.
Oh, no, we're not.
I remember back in the 90s, actually, when my son was at the Air Force Academy, we went out there, and I checked out of the hotel, it was like a 24% tax. I said, oh my goodness, and I thought our taxes, but we weren't after I checked into it. But it takes so much money to provide the services, police, fire, streets, whatever, schools, whatever. And you just, you've got to have efficiency, but you've got to have so much money to operate. So yes, you have to have some type of tax.
All right, now I know this, as we wrap this up, I know that you're going to have deadlines coming up this week.
We do. Actually, is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow
Yeah,
evening.
tomorrow, if a bill's not out of committee, then it's dead.
Okay.
So,
Anything else hanging out there that you're looking for that came from the other side?
well, you guys passed one bill that I'm concerned about, and it was doing away with the licensing of some, like
Yeah, it was
interior decorators and interior design. And those, some of those might bother me. I'm gonna look and see what all it is. And the reason it may bother me is because we have, I mean, there are kids that have already graduated, but there's some that are maybe seniors, and they had to get their license, they had to have 4 years of college, and now we're doing away with the license after they go to 4 years of college. I gotta look at that.
Well, and there were some others in there that you know, when you think about it, an auctioneer. Well, why do they need to be licensed? I mean, you know, that's just, you're just putting hurdles. You're just trying to limit the competition. That was a lot of that. We were looking at it in terms of that. But then when you think about it otherwise, the auctioneers handle you think about this car auction down here, this auto auction right over here in Pearl. Mm-hmm. You think about all those cars that are sitting out there that belong to other people besides the auction company. That auction company is going to receive money and transmit that money back to the dealer or to whoever it was that they took the money in for. They're just getting a piece of the pie and holding this money and moving it over here. And without the right licensing and the bonds and stuff that affects them, then they should be licensed. I've changed my mind. Them and a couple others that are in there, like he's talking about the interior decorators, and so yeah. I think we were kind of looking at that from our perspective, you know, trying to deregulate things, and we should have listened a little bit more to the people holding the license.
And that's why we have the House and the Senate, to let things cool off. I think, who was it, Thomas Jefferson, that one time they said was drinking coffee, and he would take, and I know that you've probably, if you've ever lived in the country, you've seen people do this. They'll take their coffee cup out, pour a little coffee in a saucer, and drink from the saucer. And someone asked Jefferson why he did that, and he says, well, it's like the House and the Senate. It has to cool off before I can digest it. And so that's kind of that's the purpose of a House and the Senate. So we'll change it hopefully for the better and send it back to them. They'll accept it, or change it again and we'll go to conference or whatever. So, we're gonna be okay on a lot of bills. We're gonna help the people. We're certainly not trying to hurt anyone.
No. And with you guys sitting in there, I have good faith that you're going to watch out for us for as much control as you certainly have. Sometimes it's not a lot, sometimes it's a little more. But you know, we have faith in you guys and our conservative leadership in both houses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And they do our bills the same way.
Of course.
You know, I mean, we realize, we'll say, we didn't think of that. Thank you so much. So. Yeah.
So we're a little bit behind the ball on the House side because the week of the ice storm, those guys were coming in and going to the Capitol because that's what they have to do by rules. And by rules, we had changed our rules so that we were meeting on Zoom. Of course, that put us behind on the committee work. So we're playing catch up these next 2 days, trying to get our committee work done on the bills that come over from the Senate.
Well, some late nights and drinking a lot of coffee over there.
That's exactly right.
Out of a saucer too, right?
Out of a saucer. Let it cool off.
Well, gentlemen, thank you, and we look forward to you guys.
Well, thank you so much.
finishing
We
your
always
work.
enjoy coming here, and hopefully we've enlightened some people on some of the things that are happening at the Capitol.
Well, you keep them straight up there on the hill, I have no doubt.
Hope so.
All right, well, when we come back, we'll have more This Week in Pearl right after this.
Come find your taste buds at the Lost Cajun. Chef Charles is cooking everything to order. Cajun classics like gumbo, jambalaya, and red beans and rice. Pick your po' boy, shrimp, oyster, roast beef, or maybe gator. Proudly serving USDA farm-raised catfish. When you're done, loosen the belt up a bit for some homemade beignets. Dine in, take out, order online, and get it delivered. Reserve our party room for your group. Find your way to the Lost Cajun in Pearl and Byram.
Well, welcome into the field house here at Pearl High School, where we're going to give out some awards today for the Pearl Municipal Broadcasting. The first one that we're going to start with for the 2020 season that we're just coming off of is the Carroll Davis Commitment to Excellence Award, and that is going to go to none other than Mr. Jaquavian Showtime Shoto. Now, what I want to do is explain, Carol, if you wouldn't mind holding that, I want to explain to you what this award is about. This is the Carroll Davis Commitment to Excellence Award. This is Mr. Carroll Davis. He is 72 years old. He started with the Pearl Municipal Broadcasting as a volunteer when they got started back in 2008. This guy runs up and down stairs. He is committed to everything. He will do anything you ask. He pulls cable up to the top of stadiums. Anybody ever been to the top of the stadium at Petal? No. Yeah, you have. It is about 3 miles high, it feels like. Carol, how many steps is it? You could tell us.
It's a long way up there. I'm not sure right
He used to have it counted out that it was like 375 steps all the way up to the top. But Carol, man, there is no job that he won't do, and that's kind of like you. There is nothing you won't do on this football team. Special teams, offense, defense. And just for the folks out there that don't get to hear from you very often, tell Carol, if you will hold that mic up, what is it that makes you want to just give it your all and no matter what?
Man, it's just really like last year I really didn't get a chance to play a lot, so I just took all that in and just try to be the best I could be for all them, like everybody in here, try to set a good example for all the young kids that look up to me, like cousin, all the young kids that, yeah.
Now,
really,
what happens as you go into next year? Is there something you want to specialize in, or are you just telling Coach, man, just put me out there wherever?
Nah, just put me out there. I just want to really put my name out there, try to get bigger. I feel like people look over me because of my height, so I'm just go out there and show them I can do what I can do. That's why they call me Showtime.
Carol, you have anything you want to say to Jaquavian?
Congratulations. I enjoy watching you play. I really do. You do a great job, and I know that you've set the example for others to follow, and proud of you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good job, man. Thank you. All right, it's now time to turn our attention to the big award, and that is the Player of the Year from PMB Sports. And the winner of that award is none other than Mr. Jamari T-Train Thompson. Man, if you watched any kind of Pearl football, you know that this is one of the elite running backs in the entire state of Mississippi, perhaps in the southeast United States. And he's only got more to prove. 1,000-yard rusher this past season, and I know you have more, and you definitely earned our Player of the Year award. What was it that made you, man, just what you were able to do? You would just run over people, literally like get on the train.
I just want to thank God first because He blessed me with this size and ability. So I just want to give all the thanks to Him, and for my teammates and my coaches. I just want to put everybody before me before I give all the, I know what I'm trying to say. Like,
Absolutely. One of the biggest questions I have is when you get the football and you're running and you see a big hole that your great offensive line is opening up for you, are you looking at the end zone or who you're going to lay out first?
Who I'm trying to run over first. I don't know how to tackle me.
As we go forward, what are you looking forward to as a senior?
Just being the best player that I can be and being the best kid that my mom raised me to be and give all the glory to God.
Boy, just a great testament. Good job, Jamari. All right, so here with Coach Justin Hunter. Justin, what do you think about the recipients of those two awards?
I thought y'all got it right. Shoto and Carol's kind of the same height too. So that was good stuff. No, but like you said about Mr. Carroll, like none of them will ever realize how much he does on Friday nights or any other time. He is 100% Pirate. And we know that, and you know that, but all these guys won't, and all you people watching, you just need to understand that he is as true a Pirate as they come. And I really appreciate this award going to Jaquavian because, Jaquavian gives us all he's got. He ain't real big and all that, but he's really, really strong. He has a heart, huge heart. And then Jamari. Jamari came so far, not only as a football player, but as a human being. I'm really proud of him and really excited about what's going to happen with him next year. I'm hoping for 2,000 yards next year. You know what I'm saying? So. No, but just a great young man, and I know they are very proud, and we are proud of him as well.
We're going to go for that Jordan Wright touchdown record, I think, Jamari. Isn't that right?
For sure.
All right, it's spring. What can you tell the Pirate faithful about spring ball as we get going?
Oh man, well when we leave out of here, we finna go get better. Today's our competition day. We're gonna move a couple things around and do a couple different things today, but we're all about competing and getting stronger every day in the weight room. And they have busted their butt all spring, trying to make sure we have a better year this year than we did last year, and super excited about this group and what's to come in the spring and in the fall for this next year.
Do we have a date yet for the spring game where fans are
We're
going to be
probably
able
going to do
see?
an inter-squad right now, blue and gold game. We have a couple guys out with surgeries, and just hopefully our track and our baseball is going to be playing a long time, so we're going to try to service those guys as best as we can, and we're going to try to get the guys that we have out here that are not hurting stuff a lot better, and we're going to go against each other on probably May the 13th.
Well, we'll have the fans keep an eye out for that because, man, they all want to come see the Pirates.
For sure. We want everybody here, as many people can get here as possible, especially with the governor opening up everything. Maybe we can pack this place out a little bit.
Awesome. All right, that is Coach Justin Hunter. We'll be back with more This Week in Pearl right after this.
WPBP and PMB TV would like to thank our latest sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts is located at 403 Riverwind Drive. With over 32 different types of donuts, they can take care of your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can now choose from their menu of sandwiches, wraps, and muffins. And don't forget the drinks. Along with coffee, espressos, and lattes for your morning drive, they also have soft drinks, cold brew coffees, and smoothies. The Pearl Pirates run on Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, before we leave, we want to honor our Police Officer of the Month, which is Tyler Lentz. Tyler has been a law enforcement officer for 7 years, and he came to Pearl in 2019. His supervisors and fellow officers say he has endless energy, great instincts, and one of the keenest eyes for spotting DUIs. Lentz received a great load of gifts from the Pearl Chamber of Commerce and a well-deserved recognition by the mayor. Congratulations again to Officer Tyler Lentz, and certainly keep up that great work. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this edition of This Week in Pearl. Thank you again to our guests, Mayor Jake Windham, Senator Dean Kirby, Representative Gene Newman, and congratulations again to our Pearl Pirate football players, Jamari Thompson and Jaquavian Shoto, as they received the Pearl Municipal Broadcasting Players of the Year Award and the Carol Davis Award. Well, until next time, let's keep our city shining as the jewel of the crossroads. I'm Greg Flynn. We will talk to you again soon.